That's good. Okay, and then we have Preeti Radhika also joining us here.
Hare Krishna Mahat and Pranam.
And with pranams. Okay, so we have still 2 minutes. I was just thinking that maybe you could just do a little kirtan then, and then at 6:30 we'll start. How does that sound, Suyash Prabhu?
Yes.
And you will also prepare the reading order list, right?
Yeah, once everyone joins in,
Yeah.
I'll type in the chat.
Just be cognizant of the order in which they're appearing. Okay. Om Ajnanatimandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Gaur. So welcome to our early morning Bhagavad Gita reading class. And we have quite a few of you already in the call. And I'm also looking at the Facebook page here. So we have Vinu Kohli Mataji. That's always a joy to have you here, Vinu Mataji. And then Preeti Radhika, for your information. Just as Duryodhan was saying, for your information. Drishwa to Facebook. I'm looking at Facebook. Chaitanya Mishra is watching, which is our dear.
Nice.
Priya Mataji is there. Yeah, she's there as well. And of course, Shraddha-devi Dasi has joined us as well. So my danvats to all of you on the phone and as well as on Zoom call here, where we are joined by Suyash Prabhu, Preeti Radhika Mataji, if you can change your name. And then Shraddha-devi Dasi, we have Ishwari Radha-devi Dasi and Sutapa Mataji there. And let me scroll and see if there are more. Yes, of course. And there is Khyati Mataji. So Neera, Suyash Prabhu, you have all the reading order laid down nicely?
Yeah, my Prabhu won't be able to join today.
He won't be able to join today? Okay.
No.
Well, then you'll have to do double the work.
Yes.
Okay.
He's
And
having
welcome
a back
Manasi.
pain, so.
He has back pain? Oh my goodness. Okay. Hope he gets better. Hey Krishna, please take care of our Neela Prabhu. We need him in these classes. Okay. And Manasi, I saw Manasi come into the frame now. Okay. And Preeti Radhika, your video orientation is like,
Yes, I'm using the iPad today.
Okay.
Because it's is that better?
Yes, this is much better. And our Shraddha-devi Dasi is the iPad queen,
I'll have to ask her.
Ask her later, yeah. Okay, so without much ado, because today is going to be a short class, we should just get into it. So Suyash Prabhu said that he'll do the honors of sharing the Vigyapti Panchaka with all of us. So if you can do that, Prabhu. And participants. Okay. All right, thank you so much for that. Let's go into the Sanskrit first here. Matsamo nasti papatma naparadhi cha kaschana parihare pi lajjame Kim Bhruve Purushottama. Yuvatinam yatha yuni, yunam cha yuvatav yatha, mano bhi ramate tadvan, mano me ramatam tvai. Bhumau skhalita padanam, bhumirevavalambanam, tvai jata paradhanam, tvameva sharanam prabhu. Govinda vallabhe radhe, prarthaye tvamaham sada, twadiyam iti janatu, govindo mam tvaya saha. Radhe vrindavanadhishe, karunamritavahini, kripya nij padabja, dasyam mahyam pradiyatam. And now we will go and read the translations. But before that, Suyash Prabhu, you're going to tell us the reading order for today?
Yes, Mataji. Okay. So, Suyash, Manasi, Priti Radhika Mataji, Varshana Mataji, Ishwari Radhika Mataji, Sutapa Mataji, Khyati Mataji, and Shraddha Mataji.
Okay, so I go after Khyati. Okay, good. All right, so yeah, go ahead.
So, O Purushottama, no sinner or offender is as bad as I am. Now, how can I describe my shame? Just as the minds of young ladies take pleasure in a young man, and the minds of young men take pleasure in a young woman, kindly let my mind take pleasure in you alone.
Just as the ground is the only support for those whose feet have slipped, you alone are the only shelter for those who have offended you.
O Srimati Radharani, beloved of Lord Govinda, this is my request. May you and Lord Govinda consider me one of your assistants.
O Shrimati Radharani, O Queen of Vrindavan, you are a river flowing with the nectar of mercy. Please be kind to me and give me a little service at your lotus feet. Hare
I
Krishna.
will. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for reading. So we have done our first ritual of the morning. And yesterday we were talking about willful neglect of devotional service, and which is something that we should not be doing. And so that's why if we ever feel that we are short of time, like we are short of time today because of my imminent departure. So one thing that we need to keep in mind is that whatever is our basics of devotional service, we should first address that no matter what, like that. Okay, so what is the second ritual that we do every morning?
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita, right? We read that in big fonts. That's all I keep reminding myself. Okay, good. So I'm going to begin to start my screen with you, and you can tell me that you can see it.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, and then we go in which reading order now? So Yash Prabhu, please guide us.
I think Ishwari Radhika.
Yes.
Good.
Observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Text 1. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? Text 2. Sanjaya said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words.
Scrolling up.
Yes, Mataji. O my teacher, behold the great army of sons of Pandu arranged. Mataji, what is the word of the Pandu? So expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. Here in this army are many heroic bowmen, equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna, great fighters like Yudhana, Virata, and Drupada.
There are also great heroic, powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Chekitan, Kasiraj, Purojit, Kunti Bhoja, and Shaibya. There are the mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamoja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters.
So I go after Khyati.
Yes,
Right?
Mataji.
Yes.
And who goes after me?
Again, me.
Okay, but I thought there are more people on the call than just three, right?
Now
Um,
someone got added.
yeah, because they read the
Oh, because they read that. Okay, I know now. Okay, fine, good.
Garima Mataji won't read, right?
Yeah, she won't read. Yeah, okay, good. I forgot from the Vigyapti Panchaka we were reading. Okay, there are the mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamaja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. But for your information, O best of the Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are specially qualified to lead my military force.
There are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwatthama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatha called Bhurishrava, who are always victorious in the battle. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science.
Our strength is immeasurable and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited.
Scrolling, yeah.
All of you all of you must now give full support to grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army.
Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhan joy. After that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous.
Text, text 14. On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells. Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called the Panchajanya, Arjuna blew his the Devdatta, and Bhim, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shell called Pondera. Text 16 and 18. King Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, the Ananta Vijaya, and Nakul and Sahadev blew Sughosh and Mani Pushpaka. The great archer, the king of Kashi, the great fighter Shikhande, Drashtadamana, Virat, the unconquerable Satyaki, Drupada, and sons of Draupadi, and others. O king, such as the mighty armed son of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shells. Hare Krishna.
Scrolling up.
The blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. At that time, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra, drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to Lord Krishna these words.
Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms. Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra.
Sanjaya said, O descendant of Bharata, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties. In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all other chieftains of the world, Lord said, just behold Partha, all the Kurus assembled here.
There Arjuna could see, within the midst of the armies of both parties, his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his fathers-in-law and well-wishers. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus.
Arjuna said, My dear Krishna, Seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. My whole body is trembling, my hair is standing on end, my bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning.
I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself, and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of the Kesi demon.
I
I do
do. Sorry.
not.
Sorry.
I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I see my dear Krishna desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness.
O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers in law, grandsons, brothers in law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune? And how could we be happy by killing our own kingsmen?
O Janardana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. Hare Krishna.
When Mataji, and scroll up just a little bit more. When irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted, and from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted progeny. An increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life, both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performances for offering them food and water are entirely stopped.
By the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated. O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell always in hell.
Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts. Driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness, we are intent on killing our own kinsmen. Better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapon in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield.
Sanjaya said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Okay, so we're going to continue our discussion from yesterday on 1.24, right? So somebody can read the translation. Who comes after me?
Suresh Prabhu.
Sanjaya said, O descendant of Bharata, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties.
Okay, and so here the verse is that they are both addressed by some names, right? What are the names that are being used there?
Rishikesha and Gurakesha.
Rishikesha and Gurakesha, right? Yeah, so we were we were talking about how Arjuna starts off and tells Krishna that I want to see, right? So I want to go and see who has engaged and who want to please that evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra, Duryodhan, right? Durbudher. He's talking about Durbudher over there. And he was Durbudher because he was not following the first verse from Ishopanishad, which says, Isa Vashyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagat yam jagat tena taktena bhunjita magriha kasya svidhanam. So what it means is that Krishna is the Lord and Master of everything which is there in this world, both spiritual as well as the material world. And tena taktena bhunjita. So we should try to use or enjoy whatever has been set aside as our quota. Tena tyaktena, set aside, and bhunjita, only, to bhoga of that. Tena tyaktena bhunjita, and then on top of that it says, ma gira kasta svidhanam. Do not covet what other people have. And this is exactly what Duryodhan was doing. Actually, Duryodhan did not even in the first place deserve to have the kingdom, because it belongs to Pandu's sons, right? And even after that, when they gave him half, he was not satisfied with that. He wanted even more. So that was a durbid there. And then Arjuna obviously wants to go there, and he's saying that I want to see. So yesterday we talked about Rishikesh and how the super soul is there. So Rishik means the senses, right? And Ish comes from Isha. So he's the controller of our senses. And so does anybody have, we had a little homework yesterday, right?
Yeah, to see Super Soul.
The super soul.
So did you see him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you like to share?
Yeah, so Shraddha, I am taking classes for little kids, and we have like a routine. Like I tell them the story, and then we learn a shloka, and then in the end we sing bhajan. So there's like the really small child, like 4 years old, cannot even read. And I'm like, how do I engage that little child? And I was praying to Krishna about that, and nothing came to my mind that how can I engage. But as I was taking the class and I'm scrolling through the story and a picture comes, automatically I just asked that little child, like, hey, can you tell me what's going on in the picture? And that engaged the little child. Was so excited. Oh, there's peacock, there's cows, and Krishna is talking. And I was like, okay, thank you, Krishna. So it's like when we are least expecting, Krishna can help us.
Exactly. And Krishna surprises you, right? We also read
Yeah.
that verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, 8:547, that how Krishna surprises us. Yeah, so it's good to be
Beyond our
surprised.
expectation.
Beyond your expectations. Yeah. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishta, right? From within your heart, he gives you ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And this Rishikesh. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Others have anything to
Yeah,
share?
Mataji, I have. So right now, my mom and my aunt, they are both in the same house, cannot go outside anywhere. So they were like really getting frustrated now. So I told them. So I've heard the frustrations since like it really takes time, and sometimes I feel that I feel drained out because of that. But since my Prabhu says that the only thing they can do is they can tell you, right? So I was praying to Krishna that, like, see my internal, I want them not to get frustrated, but I'm getting frustrated. So Krishna, what can I do? And then while I was talking to them, I just thought it suddenly came that before each frustration, we just say Jai Shri Ram. And speak of our frustration. And we
Very
both realized that after speaking the name, we don't want to say frustrations.
nice. That's a brilliant idea. Thought
Thank you,
juxtaposition.
Krishna.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt this idea wouldn't have come if I didn't pray. So, like, since you had introduced, like, look out for Krishna in every situation, I thought that was like Krishna's expectation, right? Exceeding our expectation and giving the solution to the problem.
Yes,
So,
yes,
and they
very
also
good.
felt very happy that, even though there is a frustration, if we say Lord's name first, then the effect of it just dilutes down. So,
Yeah.
Isn't it how powerful the holy name is? Right? Right. Yeah.
so they both want to thank you also.
I have so much to thank your mom and of course your Masi, yeah, for the delicious prasadam. Okay, yeah, very good idea. Yeah. So Tapa, you are trying to say something?
No, Mataji, it's not like that. I got some signal, but there was a big help for me because, as I told you yesterday, that the heating system was not working and it is very cold in New Jersey. So, what I was thinking the other night, we couldn't sleep and it was so cold. The temperature was like it was like 31 or 32 over here. So I was thinking in this situation whether we will get someone to come over and have a look. So I was praying at night whole night and there was not fear, means I was not tensed at all. So in the morning when I call the company, immediately they say, okay, we are sending someone. So, and my husband told that I was not expecting someone at this condition that they will come to anybody's house or so because most of the companies are closed. So I thought, Mataji, that is a great help. And from inside, there was a signal that, okay, it will be fine, nothing will happen, everything will be sorted out. So that happened, Mataji. So that is a great help, and thanks to Krishna.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else would like to share?
Yes, Mataji. Today in the morning when I got up, because I take very long time in finishing my rounds, and today in the morning I prayed very hard. I said, I'm getting not frustrated, but I'm getting actually frustrated. I'm getting frustrated with myself. Please help me to finish my rounds in time. I take very long time to finish. It seems I go up to sleep. So today was, after a long time, was one day when I finished my rounds by 9:15, started at 7 and finished at 9:15.
Yay! Very good. Very good. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, so that way, God really helped me. And He really helped me to today finish all my, I mean, household chores also in time.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Krishna will bring efficiency also. Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
as soon as you focus on what I keep on repeating, avyartha kalatvam, the desire not to waste a single moment. Yeah.
Yes, Mataji. Guru
Time
Maharaj
in the
said
human
this.
body. Yeah. Yeah.
Mataji, can I ask you something?
Yes. Yes.
How we can pray for the forgetfulness means I read and because sometimes means I cannot remember a single verse. Means how we can pray for that at least
Stop praying. Stop praying. For example, when we do the Vigyapti Panchika in the morning, I have categorically told all of you not to memorize it, not to try to memorize it, right? Just approach the prayers with an attitude of appreciation, attitude of humility, right? And just decide, it will automatically come. All these things come from the mercy of the Lord. Without it, like whenever there is an action, so there are certain factors to an action being performed. So one is the body is there, the senses are there, the soul is there, the action itself is there, and then the last and the most important thing is the sanction from the super soul, right? So if you go and do all the things, so what that's what we are doing in the Vigyapti Panchaka. We are using a body, we are using our sense, the tongue, and then we are doing an action, we are reciting the verse, and of course the soul is there in the body. That's why we're doing all that. And then when Krishna's and because of Krishna's sanction, it'll happen, right? So you just do the first four parts, and when, the moment Krishna sanctions, it'll come up automatically to you. Mukam karoti vachalam, right? It'll happen, it'll come. Just stop fighting it. or trying to conquer it. Yeah, try to conquer it. Yeah. And when you approach it with respect, then they will come. Yeah. Anybody else?
Mataji, today in the morning when I was sweeping the floor, you see, these days we have no help sweeping, sweeping, everything you have to do by yourself. When I was doing, you remember you had told me nearly 5-6 years ago, Mataji, you told me to learn the first shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes, I remember.
Janmadasya yato. So I could not remember it exactly, but I don't know how it came to my mind, but I was, while sweeping, I was just reciting that one.
There you go. Yeah, it comes. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then while cooking, I was reciting the Vigyapti Panchaka. Only to
Wow.
remember only few lines, but I tried. So today I paid like extra attention the sentence that I was forgetting. So
This is how it is. This is how you memorize them. Yeah, yeah.
For us,
but
Mataji,
still like very far to go. But
Doesn't matter. That biggest of the journeys, the greatest of the journeys start with the first step. Right? Okay. Yeah. Suyash and Mansi.
Mataji, mine is pertaining to visa, job, so it's better not to put on internet.
Okay. And let's see who all are on internet. So we have Rinku Mataji who has joined us, and then Bhuvi Devi Dasi, Dilip Bhai Patel Prabhu. Wow. Bhaktin Shivangi is also there on the internet. Thank you so much. And then Dhanvat Pranams to all of you. And we're going to switch off Facebook because we want to hear what's Okay, good, good, good. So let's just
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hey, sorry, I'm my bad.
I was waiting for everybody to finish, so I said, okay, maybe I can go last.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, save the
Okay.
best for the last. Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing big. It's like a daily thing for me that, dealing with the kids and how they want my attention. I'm home all the time. I'm here 95% of the time, right? Still, I find that they still want my attention so much, and I was remembering, I said, okay, no, just remember the super soul. Don't get upset. Don't get upset. Just Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. And then slowly I calmed down. And then when I came down, my daughter, she was like happy. I said, oh, okay, so I shouldn't react when they, want my attention so much. And I just start, bursting out and stuff. But it was just remembering Krishna. It's like, okay, it's going to be okay. Don't worry about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like different reaction.
That's very, very powerful because now you have started to observe your thoughts. And that's the first step towards controlling your mind. Right? And the same mind who teaches you how to react to your kids in a negative way or strong way is now helping you, right? After all, that other thought also that you should control came from the mind. And it was done by the intelligence discriminating between the right and the wrong. And then from where does the intelligence come? From where does your intelligence come?
From him, from Krishna.
Yes, from the Rishikesh.
Rishikesh.
Sitting in your
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So did everybody have a chance to share the reflections? Garima doesn't talk like that. And Soni Mataji has joined us as well. Welcome, Soni Mataji. So we have a few minutes left, and I just wanted to mention the other name, Gudakesha of Arjuna, right?
Yes,
so Gudakesha means that one who has conquered sleep, right? And so sleep, we also said, is of two types. There is a sleep for when you are sleeping, right? And then when you are in ignorance, that is also known as sleep. And Arjuna had conquered both of them, right? And then here it says, the purport Prabhupada says that Arjuna conquered both sleep and ignorance because of his friendship with Krishna. Right? Because of his friendship with Krishna, he was able to do that. So always remember that fifth factor, that there's sanction coming from, everything comes from Krishna like that. So about Arjuna, there's a very interesting story on how he conquered the material sleep, because that's also something, right? Other than ignorance, material sleep comes and hits us first, right? Before the other sleep,
Mataji, if I remember correctly, he had like control over darkness also, right? He can shoot his arrows in the darkness.
Exactly. Yeah. So he was, once what happened was there was a power outage, which meant that the lamp had blown off, some wind had come, so the lamp blew, and they were all having dinner. They were eating something, and it was dark, and Arjuna then noticed that he was able to eat perfectly even if it was dark. There was nothing like my hand went this way, my hand went that way, because there's darkness. My hand went straight to the mouth. So he said, wow, this means I don't really need, I can practice shooting in the dark. So he that's why, as Kathy Mati is pointing out, that he learned how to overcome darkness also.
That was my childhood lunchtime story with my grandmother.
Your grandmother, your grandma, yeah, we owe a lot to your grandma too. So then he learns that, and one day his spiritual master, not spiritual master, his spiritual master, he sees him practicing in the night when everybody was asleep, and he really feels very touched and very, so that's why he makes Arjun the best archer there in his life. So we also, so the thing that we're going to take away, how do you apply that to your devotional service? That will be my last question for the day.
Can you repeat the question, Mataji, one more time?
So from this question, from this observation that Arjuna was able to conquer his sleep, and I just narrated the story on how he used to practice in the dark, right, to overcome material sleep. So how can you apply that to your life? And those of you who are watching us online can type your answers on Facebook and I'll read.
Mataji, one thing I can relate is even if there is a sleep, ignorance, or darkness, don't blame them. The deficiency lies within us, because Arjuna identified that limitation and he tried to conquer it, right? So same message goes for us. The external circumstances will be there. It is how we respond to it is more important. So
Very
how we and if we are not able to do it, we cannot blame others for like being that way when we ourselves can see.
Yes.
So when we see it, we just pray to Krishna and Krishna will show us the way.
Show us the way. Very good. Very good. So don't blame the circumstances. I cannot do this because I cannot do this because of that. I cannot. I can. I can. Yeah. Have that attitude. Positive.
And Shadhama, I was thinking that application could be like in Arjuna when he asked, like, how do I control this restless mind? And Krishna says that with abhyasa yoga niyuktena. So with abhyas, with practice, we can do that. So that's what Arjuna had to do, that since our both the senses of hand and mouth is connected, it's easier to, even in the dark, go that way. But for arrow in the dark, he had to practice. So similarly, I think you told me some long time back is like, ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? The sooner you learn the lesson, the sooner the pain will go away. So that was like my huge takeaway. And then I try to tell myself, like, even when I'm like physically suffering or mentally suffering or whatever, I try to pray to Krishna that Krishna, whatever is trying to teach me, please help me learn from that.
Very good. Yeah, very good point. And whenever there are miseries that come into our life and difficult situations that come to your life, the prayer should be, Krishna, I know you're trying to teach me something from this circumstance. Please give me the strength that I learn it sooner than later.
Right.
Yeah. So we also have Chaitanya Priya Mataji, and she is sharing with us. I also see Divyangi is there. So she says, we can overcome our fears by surrendering to Lord Krishna and practice each day to learn to conquer your mind. So again, it comes back to practice. Vidyavadhu says, by remembering Krishna. And Divyangi Devi Dasi says, she's so funny, story of my life, blaming circumstances all the time. Well, it's the story of all of us, Divyangi. Don't feel too bad this morning like that. Yeah. So especially it comes to chanting. Like, for example, there are certain things that you can do naturally. For example, you can chant in the dark.
Yeah.
right in the Himalayas, in your hands you can chant and you can count, nothing prevents you. Well, if you want to say that I want to do arti in the dark or something like that, or cook in the dark, that'll require a lot of practice, and I'm not encouraging you to go that route. but it comes from suitable practice. And what I mean by that, even when you are chanting in the dark, the mind still has to be controlled. It'll go here, there, everywhere. So don't feel very bundled. It requires practice. It takes some time. And just learn to work as hard as Arjuna did. And sometimes we work very hard in our devotional service. We have got some seva that we do for the temple, and then somebody else comes as a reshuffle, and then we get a very small seva to do. And don't let that bog down your day and bog you down, because every seva is important. As Ramchandra points out, the little, who was that spider who was carrying little stones for the bridge, and he said, well, It's not that
Yes.
how much you do, it's how much from your capacity are you giving for Krishna, given your time, place, and circumstances, like that. And look at Hanuman. He's just sitting quietly, Kapit Dhwaja. He's just quietly sitting on the top of the uh, chariot, not doing anything. Imagine if you're a very powerful person and they tell you don't do anything, like that. So, okay. So on that,
Mataji, Lakshman was also, I mean, he had also conquered his sleep because he did not sleep when he was in the, for 14 years, he did
very
not sleep
good.
when,
Yes, very
yeah,
good. Yes, whenever Ramchandra was sleeping, he would not sleep. And then during the
yes.
daytime also, he would not sleep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very good point. Yeah.
Mantaji, I just have one question about chanting on the beads.
Mm-hmm.
Is it important to practice closing eyes all the time, all 16 rounds? Or
No. The idea,
go ahead.
yeah, the idea is to focus the mind, right? Focus the mind on the mantra. And there could be, and especially for you who gets up early in the morning to chant this, and if you have not slept properly, then if you close your eyes, you'll go to sleep. And before you even know that, it's 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
yeah, so it can
It
happen.
happens, Mataji.
Yeah, so even in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is telling Arjuna about the Dhyan Yoga, he says, keep your eyes half closed.
Yes, Mataji.
Eyes
That's
half
kind of
closed.
hard to practice. The
Yeah.
half close, cannot do the half close. I'm falling asleep, like even half close.
Then keep them full close and keep the deity in front of you. And again, keep reminding you that Krishna is watching you. And so are the next gods. So yeah, so do that. A DT is a good thing to keep in front of you. If you're sitting on a desk, then bring up the DT on your laptop and get the DT. Get the DT. Then it's good. Yeah. It's not necessary. Prabhupada used to walk in his room and chant, right? You have videos of that.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, because if sitting down is making you sleepy, then you get up and walk and
so it's okay to walk in the neighborhood and chant and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to go.
No. Gurma just texted me to say that he wants to move the meeting. Yeah, hold on. Let me just read the message. Okay. Okay, so then we can do further more discussions here. My meeting got moved to a later time in the day.
Good. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Yeah. So going back to the chanting part of it, right? So yena kena prakarena mana Krishna nivashayat, by hook or crook, by this method or that method, the mind has to be pulled back. Mind has to be pulled back into the chanting. And one of the things that is also recommended is that if you get up in the morning and you say, I'm going to chant, right? And about taking the holy names of the Lord, it is so powerful that it doesn't get affected by the fact that you haven't taken a shower and things like that. So some of us might just say, okay, I'm just going to get up and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to chant, right? Because if I get up to do something else and try to walk towards the bathroom, my feet might take me to the kitchen. And they can do every kinds of things can happen to you. So they say that you just sit down and you do your chanting. But if you're feeling very sleepy, for some people it might work better that they take a shower. So for some people it might work much better they take a cold shower. If you can't do all that, it always helps to wash your face with cold water and eyes. You can always splash your eyes with cold water. It always helps. And I think Chaitanya Priya has got something exciting to tell us because she jumped from Facebook to Zoom.
Hare Krishna.
She's reminding me of Hanuman who jumped all over the sea to come to Sri Lanka.
Actually, earlier I joined from Facebook because I was having my prasad and listening. And then as soon as I got done and I heard that your meeting has got extended to some other time. So I was like, oh, we still have more time. I'll just immediately join now.
Okay.
Mataji?
Yeah, it was such an interesting conversation. Everyone had such beautiful realizations to share. It was so amazing to hear.
Good. So you have something to share?
Oh, no, I'm just having fun while listening to you guys. It's like really interesting.
Suttapa Mataji was saying something.
Yes. Mataji, it was not from the verse, but I was watching Guru Maharaj lecture on Wednesday, and there was a line that happiness is worse than misery.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
who was that one? Somebody, I'm forgetting the name, who had a realization that yes, it agrees to me. And then Guru Maharaj said like, wow, you are it. So what does it
Yes,
mean?
Mataji. Like Kunti Devi also said, no, Mataji, in her prayers, that it was nice when we were in difficulty. You were there with us. Now you have put us in the right place, and now you are going away. So it is becoming, you see, I mean, we will be the separation. We will be suffering the separation now. So that is how sometimes the misery is, I mean, better than the happiness.
Happiness, yeah, because you think about Krishna more. If you are in misery,
Yeah.
and the bigger the misery is, you won't be
Yes,
coming here complaining that I can't concentrate during my chanting.
correct,
It
Mataji.
will be the best
Yeah.
chanting that you do in your life. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and in fact, I have something to share while I was listening to everyone's, realization. So, like from last few days, everything that I'm cooking, I'm not liking it at all. Like, I just feel that every dish that I'm touching, it's just getting like really bad and stuff. So then I thought, I was thinking, why is it happening like that? Am I not like really cooking, like involved in cooking, or did I get like pride or something? I don't know, like what exactly. So then I just started praying to Krishna right now in the evening that I know I must have done some mistake or something, that please help me, and that I get back again, like get better in my cooking again, because that's one service that I really, like to do.
so tell me, how was dinner today?
So actually, I told Priya Gopika to overtake the kitchen. I told her, please, whatever limited, culinary skill you have, it's okay. We will have like very simple sattvic dinner, lunch and stuff. So in the afternoon, she made simple curd rice, and in the evening, we had a little simple khichdi with, good amount of ghee. It made it delicious.
Yeah. Simple is good. If you're practicing devotional service, simple is
Yes,
good. Yeah, and Krishna
yes.
I can
Krishna
eat
likes
the
it.
same.
And Yashoda used to pack
Yeah,
curd rice for him. Yeah. She was
yes.
rice over.
Yeah. Priya Gopika says that she can have curd rice and khichdi throughout the year.
There you go. Yeah.
Mataji, since you have now time, can I request you to explain something?
Yeah, sure. Let me try.
Yeah, Mataji, kindly tell us that how many times the bhoga should be done, and how, I mean, the whole routine from morning till night. Just explain in a simple way.
Well, so that's always a tricky question. What I answer and then don't quote me. Well, so here's the thing. The first and foremost, we have to understand that there is a difference between deity worship
The temple deity
home
worship one.
and deity worship at temple. In the temple, Krishna is worshipped in the mood of Lakshmi and Vishnu, Lakshmi Narayan, like that. So it's with awe and reverence. He's in the temple like a king. Okay, so just as for the king, would you say something like, I don't feel like eating, so let's not cook for the king? You will not do that, right? The king will cut off your head. So we don't do that. Well, Krishna won't do that. So so there are higher stringent things, and you have the complete free will to um, to follow that in your home also. You can do that, which would mean that you offer the bhoga. He gets up in the morning. As soon as you take a shower, you open the curtains, you should have something for him to eat at that time. Because what are you doing? You are inviting Krishna. Again, nothing to eat? What? I'm hungry. Like that. So they give him something to eat at that time. And then later on, you dress him up and all that, babe dressing up. After that, we give him some food again. And then after that, we do the arti. So remember, if you're doing arti, you should have his stomach full. Because otherwise he'll say, like, my stomach is growling, and what are you doing? Giving me words? I want food. Like that. So so give him food like that, and then lunch, dinner like that. You would give him, and then when he goes to sleep, you'll put some water, and of course you put water throughout the day also in case he's thirsty. So you see that when you have the deity in your home, you have a relationship with the deity, and the deity ideally in a home should be the center of your life. So everything that gets done for the DT is getting done for the DT. But that doesn't mean that we're going to neglect other aspects of your life, which means that, I cannot say that I'm now offering food to my DT and he eats for 20 minutes. And so everybody, you little kids, you wait. Kids can't wait. And if they see their mom doing this to them all the time, they will end up hating whom?
Krishna.
Krishna. There you go, right? So we have to always strike a balance between this and that, because if by our acts other people are becoming antagonistic to Krishna, then who is to be blamed?
Us.
Right? Because you always have to go back and start finding the cause of this thing, cause of this, right? So who caused this, who caused this, who caused this? So we have, and then we should not become the hetu, right? Karanam of these kind of things, right? As you start to do the DT worship in your home, your attachment to Krishna will grow, right? So your attachment to Krishna will go. And then when we are offering food to Krishna, Prabhupada says that, and Guru Maharaj also says that you will assume, and it says also in the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada says that during the battle of Mahabharata, they are saying that they have got grandchildren and things like that, right? And Krishna also has grandchildren, and he's about 125 years old, or 100 at least, like that. But he looks like a youth. So we will feed him in that mood, unless you have a Laddu Gopal. Now, taking care of a Laddu Gopal is even more arduous. So, because kids have to be fed every 2 hours, right? So they will feed them every 2 hours. And then when you keep this DT, the Krishna DT there, so you would feed as if it's a 16-year-old boy. So you should give time as much as it takes for a 16-year-old boy to eat. And you will also give him sufficient food for a 16-year-old boy. So sometimes I've seen that what people do, okay, I made the first chapati and I'm going to offer the first chapati to Krishna. 16-year-old boys don't eat one chapati only, right? And one of the things that I've noticed, Antya Priya Mataji from a temple, is that when she makes the dish for Krishna, she doesn't spare anything. Like if she has to put rice on a katori, it won't be level like that. It'll be a mountain on it, right? And it'll put a little ghee. So, and then if she's putting dal on a katori, it won't be half katori of the dal. She'll bring it to the brim as much as so that it doesn't spill and make it dirty. Remember to give a nice spoon to Krishna to eat. So you go through that whole process in your mind that somebody is going to eat it. That should be your mood, that you're offering it to Krishna and you want him to eat. Because if he doesn't eat, then how is it prasad, right, for you? You want Krishna's saliva to get into that food, for us to be transcendentalized. So we do that. So do that. So again, I keep on saying it's about adjustments. It's about regulating your life. If you have a family that needs to have lunch at 12 o'clock, then you make sure that you finish your cooking by 11, and then start offering your bhoga, do everything, dishes are all washed, clean, kept away, and then you can serve lunch to your family. That way there is a balance which is there. So this is the ideal situation. Now, there's no such thing as a good situation here in this material world. So there will be emergencies, and there could be sicknesses, right? And things like that, or other more pressing things come to and you're not able to cook, right? And you have leftovers that you're going to eat. Now the question comes like, what is Krishna going to eat, right? So don't think that this is just a DT, so I can just ignore, because the moment the DT is by the prayers and by the mantras, the DT has now become God, right? So it is really God sitting there on your altar. So if you are saying, I have to
I
keep,
have the pictures, Mataji.
that's fine. Pictures also eat.
Mhm.
So this is, so you have to see that God is over here, and we offer the food to Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, right? And Yat Karosi, Yat Ashnasi, Yat Juhoshi, Dadashi, Yat Asnasi, eating. So if whatever you are taking, you have to first offer it to Krishna. So we offer that to Krishna, right? And so back to the situation where you don't have anything, like you haven't cooked, you're not cooking something. You went to the temple, they had leftovers, they gave you leftovers, you need to eat that, right? So what's going to happen to Krishna? Patram pushpam phalam toyam. He's telling you, right? So you remember, you can always put a water, you can always put a glass of milk for him to have, and you can always give him dry fruits to eat, like that. He will take it. He will take it. But don't go into the other extreme that I have to cook and then it becomes a frustration, you know. But cook with the same love that we cook for our family members, right?
Yeah. Mataji, can I ask you a question?
Mhm.
So if I'm making a new dish from the leftovers food that was not touched, kept separately, we usually, whatever we offer, we take it in our food and then we eat from that. And then the new one that we have is, I usually keep it untouched. So if we make the dish from that untouched leftovers, a new dish, can we offer that to Krishna?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Because
was.
you have not, what you should not do is to recycle. You should not keep on recycling. The same thing
Yeah.
would work. Like you made some dal, offered the dal in a katori, brought the katori, mixed it back into the main dish. So everything has become prasadam now.
Yes.
And the dal is left over. Now you say, oh, let me make dal parathas. And okay, so you take that. Then you are recycling the prasadam and giving it back to Krishna. So you can again always plan, right? So if you have made some dal, you take out some in a separate dish. Because Krishna looks at your intentions, right? So he knows, okay, her intention was she cooked it here, she kept it there. And Krishna knows your busy lifestyle. Who knows it better than Krishna? He's sitting there as Rishikesh. He's watching Updrashta. That's what I mean when I say he's Updrashta. He's looking at all your things. And then he's looking at your intentions, right? So again and again, it'll boil down to what your intentions are. I mean, look at people who are sannyasis and they go door to door to beg. I'm talking about those days, right? And so people would cook in their home. The grihasthas would cook food, offer it to Krishna. And what would they do about honoring prasadam? Before they honored the prasadam, they would go out into the outside the house and they will call out and say, "Is there anybody who wants?" Right? And they would first feed that person, and that's when all these bhikshus would come. Right? That was their time. So they would give them the food. So the bhikshu comes, takes some time the choli and goes back, collects it like that, and then sits down to eat. And then what he does, he offers it to Krishna. He's double offering it. So again, it depends on your mood, right? He's saying like, I have been given this thing by you, Krishna. I'm offering it to you. I'm offering it back to you, right? So sometimes we take things from something and then we offer it back. For example, you go into the Ganges, right? You go to the Ganges and what you do, you pick up some water from the Ganges and what's the first
Water and the Ganges.
you offer it to Ganges again. So we do that, right?
Mataji, we have one question about Laddu Gopal because we have Laddu Gopal at our home. So are there particular things which has to be followed while offering prasadam?
Again, I will just say that the same thing applies, same thing applies, that let not the deity worship in your home take you away from Krishna.
Mm.
He will understand, although he's Laddu Gopal, but he's Krishna in that form, right? So that is why they say that when it comes to deity worship, keeping a deity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the simplest thing and the easiest thing that you can do. Because Namo Mahavadanyaya, Krishna Prema Padada, he's very, forgiving and very munificent.
Mataji, we have two deities. I have, Adoshadarshi Gaura and Laddu Gopal, given to me by my mother. And I have both of them on the altar. So how does that deity worship work? Like, still,
very good question.
Then I have the same question.
Yes, very good question. There are always such interesting stories which are there about how the deities fight over food.
Oh, really?
And they do it as a recipe.
Really, Mataji, we did not know that.
Yeah, the nice stories about, how if you go to Jagannath Puri, and go to the Jagannath temple, and if the Panda is happy and super pleased with you, he might take you behind the deities, right, and show you there are some blood marks on the back of the deities. And he tells that, they had offered the food and drawn the curtain, and they could hear a lot of kata 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 sound, as if wooden things are clanking against each other. So they didn't know what to do, and they didn't want to open the curtains. because deities are honoring the food. So then later on they discovered that, there were blood stains on the back, and then I think the deities came and told, I don't know how they came to know, but they fight. Jagannath and Baldev, they fight for the food, and so they were pulling each other's hair, and some blood came out like that. So deity is very powerful. Deity is not like a stone thing that you just keep it like that. So we have to be very conscious. Like everybody wants to have a Krishna deity in their home, right? But that Krishna demands, some good service from you as well. So, and then when you have deities in your home, there are also certain other things that you do. If you have a deity in your home, do you know that you cannot fight?
Yes. Yes. Not in front of them. Go to the side and you fight.
Yeah, let's draw the curtain. I have to fight, and which is a good thing. Which is a good thing if you have got developed that conscious. Yeah.
Mataji, this is true that we.
You cannot fight. You cannot beat your kids in front of them. Well, not that I'm recommending that you beat your kids.
But where is that place where deities are not there? I mean,
good.
One.
Yeah. So what's the conclusion, Kathy? Yeah. You do a lot of research. So tell me, what's the conclusion?
Mataji, what will happen that if the fight is there?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Yeah. That's a very good question. So there is a concept of aparad, offenses. And these offenses, they eat away into your devotional service.
But Mataji, if we are not fine, suppose we are joining your classes, the Prabhus are also here, they're not fighting, but who are not joining? Like, if they fight, then what will happen?
If they fight and who are not joining, that's their
means like Basha Mataji's husband, uncle, and my husband, they are not joining the classes, or they are not. So if they fight, what will happen, Mataji?
Oh, you're saying that they fight with you like that? Are you saying that? Are you saying that if they fight with you, then we know better not to react to do that, right? Because that's not Vaishnava behavior. If somebody fights with you, then we give it back, right? If thinking, feeling, willing, and action, right? If somebody is fighting, the worst thing that you can do is to fight back. At home, I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
If the spouse is talking in whatever, angry with you, it's better for the other person to keep quiet at that time, and then later on bring it up. And by the time it's later on bring it up, you might even forget it, and you'll say, forget it. I have my rounds to finish. Who cares? Where he kept the toothbrush.
Exactly.
Yeah, I really liked. I was going to say some very knowledgeable words. They just came to my mind. So when Kathy Matiji was talking about how she told her mom and aunt that any time that you have to talk about your frustration, you first take the name of Krishna. And then, of course, after they took the name of the Krishna, they didn't want to talk anything frustrating after that. So that's something that we can also practice, right? So every time that person says something bad to me, I will chant something in my mind. So it's going to do wonders to your devotional service, because you are learning how to control your mind there. Yeah, and remember, a spouse coming and misbehaving is a test on us. Always see
every
things
day.
as
But Mataji, how long that test will go on?
How long the test will go on? That's a very good thing. Very, very good thing that you've said. For example, when you start to learn how to bicycle, right? How many of you, raise your hands, how many of you know how to ride a bicycle? Okay, so
I know.
Okay, and that's fine. So when you start to learn the bicycle, you fall down.
Yes.
Several times. The bicycle falls on you, you fall on the bicycle, it goes on like that. And it's so strenuous. It's such an ardent thing, but you have this desire to learn it. That's why you're doing it. But the process of learning it is not an easy one. Right? And then once you, Preeti, Radhika, did you raise your hand? Do you?
Oh, for the bicycle.
Bicycle? Yeah, you did, right? Yeah. So when you finally learn how to ride a bicycle, riding a bicycle becomes a joy. And you don't even know that here I am, I'm balancing. Oh, I have to go to the lab because the bicycle is going to the right. Oh, I have to do this. It comes naturally to you. It becomes a part of you, right? So similarly, through suitable practice, it will become a part of you. not to react to others will become a part of you. To start observing will become a part of you. Don't be in a hurry. Just relish whatever Krishna, sends your way. Just relish that I like this, oh, I'm enjoying this, whatever little, or just once I did not respond back to my spouse, or for once it took me 10 seconds before I responded. Even that is good progress. That is good progress. And then slowly you will start increasing the distance between thinking and feeling and willing and acting.
Action.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. So so from this, it's a complete paradigm shift for you, right? And the paradigm shift is coming from that to think that he is bad and she is bad, and he's saying this bad thing and she's saying this bad thing, and they are bad and they didn't come to this class and things like that. Actually, Krishna is testing you that, how can you do this thing on number one, how can you maintain your own calm when you're triggered by this, right? And the second is that, why do you want your spouse next to you in your devotional service? Can't you do it alone for Krishna? Don't you love him? Like that. So it all comes back to us, comes back to us, comes back to us, comes back to us for everything that happens in our life. The law of karma is there, right? That's what it's saying. Anything that is happening to you is coming because of us. So it'll be only in very extremes of situations, and we have to be elevated spiritually to come to a situation where Krishna will start taking hold of our lives. And at that time also sometimes reversals will happen in our life, and they are not karmic reactions. And Krishna says that in the 10th canto, I think 14th chapter, verse number 8, the tattenukampam susamikshemano bhunjanamevatmakritam vipakam hridvagvapubhir vidadan namaste jivetayo mukti pade sadaya bhag. So he's saying that when reversals come into the life of a devotee, the devotee, instead of complaining about God and what is Krishna doing, what is happening, this is Corona, where is he gone now, I'm dying, and all that kind of stuff, instead of saying that, he says that Krishna, I actually deserved something worse than what I'm getting now. But because I am your devotee, dear Krishna, you have reduced the sentence on me. And then, having come to that conclusion in his mind, and he uses his mind, body, and words, hit vak to glorify the Lord. And such a person, Brahma, this is Brahma's prayers, Brahma says that such a person becomes automatically entitled to be liberated from this material world if you develop an attitude like that. So even when the bad things are happening to us, we are realizing that it is us. Anybody doing anything to us, they are just the instruments of your karma. Right? Sometimes a dog comes and bites us. Mosquitoes come and bite us, They are just instruments of our karma. So don't blame the instrument of your karma. Dig back deeper and find the cause. Karanam. Note down the cause. Who is the cause? And as soon as you know that I am the cause, then then we start laughing like, oh yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Like that. Instead of saying you did it. Right? When you point a finger at your neighbor, there are 3 more pointing back at you. And then there's a thumb that points up to say that there's Krishna who's watching you. Right? This is a nice mudra to remember. Don't do that. You and you and you and you. And that's the practice. We won't change overnight. We won't be able to change overnight because we have been doing it, practicing being nasty for millions of births. But now that we have found Krishna consciousness, then it's a beginning. And great journeys begin with the first step.
Mataji, sometimes, regularly, if you offer 3 times a day, offer bhoga to the Lord for 3 times a day, and just in case, you see, for some reason, you have not been able to offer in between, is that an offense, Mataji?
No.
Okay. Another thing, Mataji, in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the night, what is the suitable best time?
what is a suitable best time for that? Well,
For
again,
offering to
again,
Krishna.
I will say that rules in the temple are much more stringent. On the dot of the
Yes.
clock, you have to wake them up on the dot of the clock. You have to give them food, and that's why you see in the temple there's a lot of hustle and bustle at that time, right? And whosoever is cooking, the priest will come and say, "Now stop," because the cooks are saying, "I want to cook this last thing, and let me garnish this and let me garnish that." He's like, "No," he's going to take away the thali. He's going to offer it to Krishna like that, because that's what the rules are, right? Right. Again, I have to keep on repeating this thing, that Krishna is going to look at your intentions,
Intention.
right? If we decide to be lazy in the bed, and I said, you know what, let's just skip breakfast, and if I feel hungry, there's always those leftover prasadam apples, I'm going to eat that. You are willfully neglecting Krishna. And
Yes.
that will be determined to your devotional service, right? So as your relationship with your deities will grow, you would actually, it'll grow, and you'll come to a situation where that it will stop to become a chore for you. It'll stop to become something that your spiritual master told you to do. From there, you will reach over to the other end, and where you will want to do it spontaneously. You will just think
Yeah.
think, I mean, I have seen people in the temple. I mean, Hansapri, I keep on taking her name again and again today. So one day she said, "Oh, this is so hard." I was surprised, and I'm really surprised at how ISKCON handles the deity worship. It's amazing, and why it is amazing, and why the reason for that is that we believe in love of God. That's the mood in which we do devotional service to the Lord. So one day I remembered that it was very hot. Once in a every year there are 3 days during summers where it gets everybody goes crazy. So it was those days, and then they said, "Oh, let us get a fan for the deities." So they purchased a fan for the deities, and they put the fan there. The fan was blowing. I was like, "Oh my goodness, we never even think about that." So that was one thing. Then second was Nirakula Mataji, my Guruma. She one day said, so the fan would blow, deities are there, and then you put them to sleep, the fan will still blow because it's still hot. And then she came and said that I have been looking on the internet to find a fan that doesn't make noise, because the one that we got for the temple makes a lot of noise. And how can the deities sleep with such a noisy fan? I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's the level of a relationship that you develop with your deity. And Raseshwari Mataji, who's my Vartman Pradaksha Guru, she brought me into Krishna consciousness by giving Bhagavad Gita to me. Thank you so much. She was saying that she went to Vrindavan, and you know how the Krishna Janmabhoomi and the Babri Masjid and all that thing is there. So there was height of security there. And when you went to visit the Krishna Janmabhoomi, they would do a thorough check of your body, and they would ask you to open the purse, and then look at the contents in the purse and things like that. So Raseshwari Mataji had a DT. I think she had just purchased a DT, and she had put that DT in a Ziploc bag, and she had put it inside her purse nicely so that it doesn't get damaged and things like that. So when she went there, so the police lady, she was there, security, and she said, "Okay, open your purse." So she opened her purse. And then this lady puts the hand inside, starts looking at this, and pulls out this Ziploc bag where there's a DT inside. So she said, "Why did you close the Ziploc? How is he going to breathe?" That's her relationship with the Krishna. That's her mood, And Raseshwari Mataji said, "I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think that this is a deity. If I'm going to put it in a Ziploc bag and tie it on the top, how is a deity going to breathe? Because for them, deity is Krishna alive in person in front of you, like that. Yeah. So you will come and develop that mood. That mood will come to you. You will do that. So once you get into that mood, then fighting in front of the deity will automatically go away. Automatically, you'll be aware that he's there. And that's why we are kind of, I'm just emphasizing this over and over again every day that, whenever you're doing anything, be watchful that Krishna is watching you, and so are the demigods. So don't think you're alone. There's no privacy. We ask for our privacy and our space like that. Yeah. So,
CC camera is there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mataji,
I said the CC camera is always there.
Yes, CC is there. Yes.
Yeah.
Tapa.
Yeah, Mataji, something very, I don't know what I should call it. It's a miracle or what. Last time when we went to India in December, so there was a wedding, so we need to go to someone's place. It's a village to invite some of our relatives, and they had a. It's not the ISKCON temple, but the Radha Krishna temple is there. So my husband told, okay, let's go and take a look, means how it is the temple. So they were constructing the temple. It was not finished yet, and the Radha Krishna deity was there, and the Goswamis was there. So as soon as we reached there, the head priest, no, so they were constructing. So my husband was thinking, told the head priest that I want to donate some money for the cement because they need to construct there. So the head priest told he just now 5 minutes back we had a meeting and we were looking for the cement because we don't have the money. So, but we were just talking how can we can continue the work of means building the temple. So that time I didn't realize anything, but after coming back, nowadays I'm thinking means we never heard of the temple. Just we went there and someone told. So we went there. Means, and now I realizing that this is a very means I don't know means what should I take or I'm
Yeah,
so
I mean,
fortunate.
exactly. This is a super soul being active. This is a super soul. So there was a super soul in the heart of the priest and the temple committee. And he knows that these people need the money to build the temple. And on the other hand, there is the donor who has a hidden desire to donate, right? And he also has a super soul. So these super souls communicate with each other. And it's so amazing that the company Oracle that I used to work, they used to call something like grid management. It was a big hoo-ha when they started adding a G for grid for there. And they had a very nice and sophisticated management system where on each of the computer, they would put a little agent that would constantly beep and tell the main controlling machine that here is my status, whether I'm down, what processes are running, what processes are not running, so that this person in the center could then monitor and from remote try to fix it if possible, like that. So there was a big hue and cry, and I was thinking like, wow, that's what Krishna has done. He has placed a little agent in all of our hearts, right? That it's a super soul, and that's how the super soul works. And yes, Krishna organizes. That's one thing that Krishna arranges. Eko bahunam
Yeah.
yog vedati kaman. He arranges that, and Dilip Bhai Patel Prabhu, who's on the we are watching us on Facebook together with Divyangi, it's Bhagya Mataji, Varshana Mataji, thank you so much for you. And Anna Payani, Radha Mataji, Manish Prabhu, Pramod Prabhu, you're there. Hare Krishna, so good to have you here. And Rasesha Govinda Mataji, so they're all there. So I just wanted to mention that when we were in a very tiny storefront in San Jose, our temple, and the congregation size was increasing. We wanted to move to a bigger temple, but we didn't have the money. And we had Damodar Vanchidhari Prabhu, the best possible, board of directors that we had. He was so enthusiastic about getting a new place. He would go and find and work with the real estate agents and try to find properties. And he would come to us, and every property was like, $900,000, $1 million, $1.2 million. And it was like, how will you? So I remember Dilip Bhai Patel Prabhu was talking to my spiritual master as the temple president, and Vaishika Prabhu, and they both were having a conversation, and I just walked by. So I overheard this. So he was saying that, there is this temple, there is this property, $1.2 million or 1.3. And so we want you to come and have a look at that. And Vaishika Prabhu was saying, but then we don't have the money. We don't have the money. So then he said, don't worry, Krishna will arrange. You come and see. And he said it so naturally. It came so naturally from his mouth, as if that, that was his thing that he does all the time for everything in his life. And then I don't know what happened, whether they went and took that property or not, but ultimately we bought property which was $1.8 million, like that, And so Krishna arranges. All that you need to have is that faith. Adau Shraddha. You need to have faith that it will happen. And that positive feeling. So what exactly is a positive feeling? A positive feeling is a faith in Krishna. Because we don't do anything, right? We can't do anything. We don't have the capacity to do anything like that. Right? Okay, I'm just trying to see if there are any comments here. Yeah. Barsha Mataji is saying, Bhaktin Barsha is saying that she likes the fact that to look at others as instruments of our karma. Yeah, yeah, that helps in long developing good relationships. Your relationships will never spoil if you just look at every antagonistic person as an instrument of your karma, and they learn to tolerate. Yeah. Any other last questions? We are way over our time today.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, so if there are no more questions, then we will call it a day here. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining on Facebook as well as on Zoom. And today's Friday at 3:30 p.m. We're going to have the Srimad Bhagavatam class. It will be on Zoom as well as on the audio conference call. So we'll call it a day here with the pranams to all of you. Vanchukalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavnibhyo Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Shraddha.
Thank you.
Hari Bol.
Thank you
Have a
so
nice
much.
day. Think of Krishna, think about the super soul. Be on the watch for the super soul.